Alright guys, this video is all about how to do the clone stamp combo assignment here in Mr. Johnson's class. Let's go ahead and get started. This assignment's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go to File, Open in Photoshop, and we want to open up the two of the photos that we took for our class photos assignment. So, not our class photos assignment, but when we took everybody's picture. Whatever folder that's in for us for this video, it's class photos. Go ahead and find that, and we're looking for two people that we can combine together. What we want are two people who have fairly similar skin tone. Doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl and a girl or a boy and a girl. However, it is easier if you do two people of the same gender, but it's a little more fun if you do two people of different genders. So you decide, but more important is that you find people who have similar skin tone. So I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to hold down Control and click on this one. Holding down Control allows me to select a different file, but also keep this previous one selected. I'm going to go ahead and press Open. Alright, I got both my photos open here. It'd be nice if I could see them both at the same time. Come up here to this button right here, the Arrange Documents. Click on this one. Now I can see them side by side. And the first thing we need to do is make sure these are going to fit into the new canvas that we're going to create. Let's grab our crop tool. Let's go 4 inches for the width, 6 inches for the height, 300 for the resolution. Make sure you get those right. Then come down to your first image and just click right up here in the top left-hand corner. Click and drag down to the bottom right-hand corner. You're going to lose just a little tiny bit off the bottom there. That's okay. Go ahead and press Enter. Come over, click on this image. Notice I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm starting outside of the canvas. Look up here. Don't start right here. Start up here on the outside of the canvas. Click and drag down to the bottom right-hand corner. Press OK. These are now both 4 by 6, perfectly sized, and I'm very happy with that. Let's go to File, New now. And these are the settings we want. 12 inches for the width, 6 inches for the height, 300 for the resolution. Again, make sure these numbers are right. We're going to fit 3 of these into our new canvas, so we want to make sure that if our sizes is right, so they'll fit just fine. Go ahead and press OK, and you'll notice that showed up right there. Again, a little annoying. Let's click on this, make it so we can see all 3 of them. Beautiful. I'm going to hold down the space bar, click and drag this over, so I have a little more to work with there. Let's come back, grab the Move tool. I'm going to click on this first image. You have to select the image first and then click and drag the image over. I'll now click on this one and then click and drag it over. And now that I have these 2 in here, we're actually done with these, so I'm going to close them up. I'm not going to save them because I don't want to save the changes I made. And that's going to leave me with just this, which is great. It's what I want. I'm going to make sure that my Move tool is selected and that right here, this Auto Select box is checked. And that layer is in the option in the drop-down box. Let's move this dude over here and this dude over here. Doesn't really matter which one goes where. And then I'm just going to decide which one I want to be my base. Which one am I going to add to? And again, it doesn't really matter just because I'm going to use this one over here. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key on my keyboard. You see my cursor changes into the duplicate. That's going to duplicate and allow me to move this layer. Put it right there, smack dab in the middle. So our layers palette should look like this now. We should have layer 1 copy, layer 2. Let's make a new layer at the very top. And this is the layer we're going to do all our cloning on. So let's go ahead and rename this layer to Cloning. Perfect. Now, grab your clone stamp, keyboard shortcut S, of course. And then, very important, make sure this right here is on all layers. I think the default is current layer. Change this to all layers, and that's going to make this much easier. So here we go. Clone stamp selected, all layers. I'm on my layer, my cloning layer, my layers palette. Let's get to it. We are going to clone the eyes, the mouth, the nose, and the hair from this image onto this image. We're going to do a mashup of these 2 guys and see how it looks. So let's start with the eyeballs. This is going to look a little bit weird. His head is slightly tilted, whereas his head is straight across. So it's going to look strange, but that's kind of the fun of this whole thing, is making something that looks really, really weird. Let's start with this right eyeball. We're going to take a sample point right smack dab in the middle of the eyeball. Notice the size of my brush. It's just a tiny bit bigger than the eye. It's exactly what I want. I'm going to hold down the space bar, click and drag this over, and I'm going to line this brush up with the exact middle of his eye. I'm going to click and drag, and notice I'm only cloning just enough to copy his eye over. Don't get all crazy and clone his whole face with one sample point. That's just a bad idea. So that's all you need to do, just a little bit there. You can see if I turn this cloning layer on and off what I've done, and we're off to a good start. So let's go back, hold down the space bar, hold down Alt, click right here. Again, hold down the space bar, click and drag it over to get back over here. And let's clone again right smack dab in the middle of the eyeball. I didn't mention, but you should probably know without me having to tell you, is that your hardness should absolutely be at 0 in this. If you're using a hardness of 100, it is not going to look good. Let me show you what using a hardness of 100 would look like. No matter how good you are at cloning, that's just not going to look good. So make sure you have that right click and set that hardness down to 0. And that makes its blend in so much better. Makes your cloning much, much, much easier. So there you go. Let's see how we did. Not bad. Things are definitely off to a rocky start in this combination. Let's see how it ends up. So click and drag over here. Let's do the lips. Again, sample right smack dab in the middle of the lips right there. Come back over here. And there's really a tilt in these lips, so this is going to be a little strange, but it should work. And again, I'm only going to clone just enough to cover up the old lips and bring in the new lips. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. This actually doesn't look too bad. He looks very angry, but whatever. Let's go with the nose now. Again, sample right smack dab in the middle of the nose. Come over to the other one. Line it up right in the middle as best you can. Sometimes it helps to make your brush a little bit bigger so you can see a little bit more of that preview that Photoshop's giving you. And here we go. Let's do a little click and drag here. And very good, very good. Okay, let's try to do the hair. There's a couple different ways to attack the hair. So far, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, if you do them the way I showed you, that's going to be the easiest way to do it. But the hair, sometimes you got to come at it a couple different ways. So let's give it a shot. One way you can do it is sampling from the middle. So sometimes I like to either sample right here at the top of the head or right here at the bottom of the hair. Let's go ahead and just sample right here, right smack dab in the middle. And we'll come over here, and that way that allows us to line the hair up the top of the head. I'm going to go a little bit higher, and then let's just see how this is going to line up. Oh, look at that. That was perfect, almost. We're going to have to clean that up a little bit right there. But other than that, we got a couple little issues here. We got a little bit of extra ear there and a little bit of eyebrow that poked through right there. We can't fix that. We could fix it with the clone stamp. In fact, that's how we'll fix this. But this is a little bit tricky, and I'll show you how we'll fix that later on. Let's do the other side of the head, and what I do is I come over here and I take another sample point. Even though it's from the same spot, you're just going to have to trust me, and then line it up more or less same spot. And let's go down the other side and see how that one matches up. Again, a good combination there. So let's fix these couple of problems that showed up here. Actually, let me show you the other way to do the hair. That if that method doesn't work, you can do it this way. Whoops, I accidentally undid the nose. Okay, so a different way is that you sample, whoops, wrong image. You sample from down here, so we get a little bit smaller brush. And we sample right here where the ear and the hair meet together. And we work our way, line those points up, and then work our way up to the top. Sometimes this method works better than the other method I showed you. So you're just going to have to try. If one doesn't work, then try the other one and see. And if I remember right, this method does not work as well with these images. Let's find out here. So I'll match this one up and bring it up. And you can see how those don't really line up very well at the top of the head, but that is actually fairly easy to fix. We're just going to throw a layer mask on our cloning layer. Put a layer mask on there. Grab our brush tool, keyboard shortcut B. Brush tool right there. Make sure my foreground color is set to black. Make sure I'm at a very soft edge, hardness of 0. And remember, black makes things disappear, so I can just come in here and just erase some of that extra hair. And that's actually, regardless, whatever method you use, that's how you're going to come down here and fix the ears. Is you'll just use a black brush on a layer mask to fix that up. And then to fix this random eyebrow right here, and then I got a little bit of random eyebrow over here, I'll just click back on my layer. Make sure you're not on your layer mask, but on your layer. And we'll just use the clone stamp. So just come in here, maybe take a sample point right about here, and let's cover up that little random eyebrow. And we got a little bit poking through right there, but not anymore. It's gone. So there you go. That is a fairly repulsive combination of two people. And honestly, 99% of the time that we do this assignment, the combination is very unattractive. Very unattractive. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and save this up. Save it as a PSD in your own folder. So go into your folder in your period folder. Call this clone stamp combo. Make sure you save it as a PSD. There we go. And then file, save as. Go find your own folder, Johnson, period 6. The grading folder is what I meant to say. Find that clone stamp combo. Make sure you do a JPEG and make sure you do last name, comma, first name. Hit save. And remember, when this box pops up, just press OK, and you're done.